Bryan Fritz here with Daniel Bryan as he gets set for WrestleMania 30, which could be the biggest weekend of your career, the biggest show of your career.
Yeah.
You're getting pulled in a lot of different directions now.
I'm getting pulled in a lot of different directions as we speak right now. They want me to go over there to take a picture too.
Right. So what's that been like for you now with all of the attention and all the media?
Yeah, it's strange. That's the hardest part of the job for me. The wrestling is the easy part. That's the part that I've been doing since I was 18 years old, you know. So this part is the hard part, the stressful part, the part that I'm like, oh no, I have to put on a button-up shirt and tuck it in, and especially when I'm trying to do the yes chants and stuff, because like all this like comes out and makes me feel very unprofessional.
But it's easier than doing it in a suit.
Oh yeah, way easier than doing it in a suit.
So when it comes to all the attention and everything, you talk about something that you're not used to in the past and doing the media. How has it been to get used to it? Do you feel more comfortable with it now?
Yeah, I'm getting more and more comfortable with it, but it's still outside my comfort range, you know what I mean? And so, but it's something that you have to do to be at this level. Like John Cena does it tirelessly. You know, he goes and he does it and he never complains about it. And that's what you have to do at this level, because this is all part of the gig. And if you don't want the gig, there's lots of other people who do want it.
Has it been tough to adjust to that? Because obviously the schedule's already tough enough, but then when all this is incorporated into it as well, the schedule becomes that much more difficult.
Yeah, and so it's tough, but it's not so bad that you can't do it, right? Like we all get up and we do it, and so it's I'll go back and I'll take a nap, and I've got another appearance later today, and then more appearances, and so you get through it. And part of it is fun. Like some of these interviews are actually enjoyable, because a lot of them, this is a lot easier for me than doing like press events, because this is like a one-on-one conversation, and I feel like I can talk to anybody, just hang out and talk and be me, and that's not really a problem.
How much fun has this been overall, especially over the past year, and then this crescendo to where it is now, where you're going to be part of the main matches of WrestleMania?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and it's been an interesting roller coaster ride, because there have been some downs in that period too. Yeah. So it's fun to see where the fans have taken it, because the fans are more responsible for this than anybody else. Like if it were up to WWE, I wouldn't be in this spot right now. Like it's the fans who have kind of, as they say, hijacked shows and made it so that WWE has to do something with me like this, and so it's been really fun.
Was there any part where you got frustrated with anything, or was, because I know you're a very patient guy and you've talked about that as well, is it something you just kind of sit back and see where it goes, or do you get frustrated with it too?
Well, anybody who's passionate about what they do will get frustrated with what they do at certain points. How frustrated I get compared to everybody else, I feel like I don't get that frustrated compared to a lot of guys, and that's good and it's bad, because some guys go and they'll knock down doors to go do stuff. I have always thought, if I work hard enough, at some point they'll have to do something with me, and it turns out so that's kind of been the case, but it's more been the fan response as to why they have to do something with me.
Can you explain what happened? I don't know how many months ago it was, but a match where you got pulled because of a stinger that you got, and you went backstage, and there was an altercation with you and Triple H. What exactly happened? Can you explain that? Yeah,
so they stopped my match. They stopped my match. It was a call from the back, so they sent out a doctor, and what happened was I got a stinger and I couldn't feel anything down my right arm, and it was pretty obvious. My right arm was limp and whatnot, and I was very angry, because I've wrestled my entire career and never had to have a match stopped. I detached my retina and wrestled for another 15 minutes. I separated my shoulder 5 minutes into a 60-minute match and didn't have to stop. So it's one of those things. I take pride in my I don't get angry very easily as a person. I was angry, and like so then like when I came back, I was furious, and Triple H had said that, you know, that he was the one that stopped it, and I said, what right do you have to stop my match? He's the guy who wrestled through a torn quad, right? But this is a different era of wrestling, and that's, you know, and that's part of the corporate aspect of wrestling, that they decided that they needed to stop it, and I don't agree with it. So
I know everybody expects to see you, or hopes to see you in 2 matches when it comes to WrestleMania. If it was up to you, how would you like to have them placed on the card? Would you like to open the show with the match at Triple H and then close with the title match, or would you like to have them back to back?
I'd want them back to back. That's the way I like to do things. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to go full bore, and I'm going to go all out, and I'm going to do it once. You know, like that's what I would like. Whether or not that'll actually happen, I don't know.
Are you allowed to say no to anything anymore?
Yeah. I mean, I can say no to stuff. Like it was It's funny because somebody asked me in a match. They were like, it was on a live event, and they asked me, Daniel Bryan, do you want to do this? And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. And he's like, you idiot, you were supposed to say yes. And so yeah, sometimes I say no when or I'm like, oh, I don't know, and people are like, dude, that was just a setup for you to say yes. And I'm like, oh, sorry, I forget sometimes.
Does everybody just expect a yes chant to break out wherever you go now?
No, I mean, it only happens when they're like occasionally. It's really strange when like Bree and I will be walking the dog, and all of a sudden a car will pass by, and some guy will just sit out the window and go, yes, yes, and you hear it, yes, 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 and he's just doing it. So like there are some weird moments, but most of the time I don't hear them.
But I think the good thing is that people are really behind you and they appreciate it. So do you get bugged too much, or is it one of those where people appreciate it but they don't bother you too much?
You know, for the most part, people appreciate it and don't bother me too much. There are some times where it gets excessive, like people following you around grocery stores. Like that's when you're like, okay, like I have no problem saying hi or taking a picture or whatnot, but if you're following me around, that's when it gets a little bit excessive.
Thanks for the time. Best of luck on Sunday. Daniel Bryan getting ready for WrestleMania 30, where he can leave the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Yes.